Hi, so how are you all feeling about the vaccine now being rolled out and all the over 80s being 4 million of them have been vaccinated already? It's reason for hope, isn't it? Because we all have to at some point get back on that bandwagon and remember that there is life after COVID, and eventually things will have to get back to a manageable point. Which leads me into what I'd like to discuss with you today. And that is motivation. Because we have to be motivated to at some point retake control of our lives, because COVID has shown us how easily our lives can be taken over when we're not in control. But I'm not talking about adults necessarily today. I'm talking about students and young people. The motivation that they have tends to take many different strands. When trying to learn in a classroom, motivation comes from seeing others do the work correctly. You know, those who are very competitive, and when somebody else does the work correctly, they want to do it correctly as well. I love that competitive streak. Group work always works well. And the motivation to succeed in order to take the next step. So that's two different forms of motivation: competitive motivation, which is one thing, and the motivation to take the next step, which is the other. The two rarely meet because they're two different personalities. And I'm sure that in the classroom, if you dug deeply enough, you'd find others who are like motivated to find their place in their family where everybody else has been achieving. So they want to achieve as well, which is similar to the competitive edge, but it's more family driven. I'll tell you a secret. My older brother and I used to be just like that, because he won a scholarship to go to a public high school, which was fee paying and a boarding school, when he was 11 years old. And so because I was the next one up, I was expected to do it as well. But I've always been strong-headed, and I decided that I didn't want to go to a boarding school. I didn't want to go to a fee-paying school. I wanted to go to the school down the road, the local comprehensive Vauxhall Manor School, to be exact. So I didn't work hard for that, and I didn't get it, which has pleased me ever since, because I still worked hard. I was still motivated to take my place in line with him, not behind him as I was born, but in line with him. And I succeeded, and 4 degrees later, I'm still standing, as is he. I'm very proud of him. He is a qualified doctor and working hard in our hospitals today. So how do we motivate students when we've got a classroom of people who are motivated by different things? What we have to remember is how the brain works. Even though everybody learns in a different way, the brain works quite similarly, and that is that it has to have confidence in what it's doing. So therefore it has to be not panic-stricken, not stressed, but it has to take things in stages so that it can feel itself making progress. Progress is one of the greatest motivators, and I'm not talking about the machine-driven progress of many state schools in the UK. And when I say machine-driven, I mean when the machine thinks that you have made progress. Students need to feel it for themselves. So the way that we do it is that we compliment when things are done well. We add courage and confidence by showing students when they've used problem solving and solved a problem in an efficient way. We use collaboration, which when they're working with other students, then there's always better ways of doing something. They get to learn from each other. This all put together you'll find that there's somebody who actually looks forward to work, looks forward to studying. Let me tell you something. I have had many students in the last few weeks say to me, I didn't think that I would enjoy online learning, but I actually do. Yes, they actually do. And do you know why? Because it takes them away from the didacticism which the traditional education system puts into the classroom, and it actually allows them to actually think, research, innovate through collaboration with their peers, and produce results that they have considered, they have thought out, they have decided on that as a solution. And the answers are sometimes not perfect, but so what? They've got time to learn this, and they've got time to enjoy the learning process. Let me tell you something else. This is to do with motivation, and it's to do with home learning or online learning. As parents, we don't have to teach. Well, I do have to teach because I'm a parent and a teacher. But as parents in general, just be a parent, just support, just encourage, just give confidence, just, maybe be a guide. You don't have to instruct. You're not a teacher. So don't try and be one. That only stresses you out. And when you get stressed out, the student gets stressed out. So to motivate your child, why not sit down, go through a brief with them and take them in stages through the brief. As they solve one step, then give them all the encouragement to go ahead and choose the next step. That way it becomes more interesting for them because they're working towards a goal. You get to go on and start working with another piece of work that you're doing. Possibly you're working from home. Your child is building independent skills. You're less stressed. You're not projecting that stress onto them. They are actually looking forward to presenting their work online to their peers and to their teachers the next day or in a lesson later on that day, and everybody's winning. You'd be surprised at the skills that your child has, which when challenged, when encouraged to use them, they actually go ahead and they will surprise you. I promise you. You heard it here first. But in the meantime, we all have lots to be going on with. I've given you some tips for motivation, some tips for motivating kids, some tips for building independence, some tips for getting through home learning and online learning like a trooper. I hope it helps you. If you've enjoyed this talk today, and if you enjoy the channel, please like, share, encourage your friends to subscribe to the channel. All of the episodes are on the channel. You can get to it from the comment below. You see, I've lost my words now. I've gotten that excited. You can get to it from the link below. And we are here every week, 7 p.m. on a Wednesday, talking about the issues of the week, providing help, providing a link which you can click on and get free, no obligation help with any issues that you have in the education space. Why not share the love? In the meantime, see you next week. I hope so. Take care.